Most people can't even plan for a week. So I pushed it to 273 days straight of planning to see if it really would change my life. And I will warn you, the results even shocked me. The changes I made, the person I became, and the discipline I garnered from this life experiment was something I'll be permanently grateful for. I hope you enjoy this video. Hello, I'm Dylan, I'm 18 and I work with high potential professionals and entrepreneurs who are tired of procrastination. People with real ambition but no consistent system to back it up. I don't coach lazy people, I coach people who don't have the productivity backing for their ambition. As I personally saw myself in that same situation, I spent over 5,000 hours or 210 days straight wasting any potential I had on Call of Duty and other such video games. I had ambitions and aspirations like the people I work with, but I simply didn't have the strategies, tools and techniques in place to pick me up on those days where I felt like procrastinating. But now, I effortlessly and easily breeze through large chunks of my work, for my business, for my education, for my personal development goals, and I'm helping others do the same with my business and this YouTube channel where I give free actionable advice to become productive once and for all. If that sounds interesting, subscribe. But what actually changed inside my brain? And to start, anxiety decreased correlatively if my days were planned. I haven't missed a day for 273 days of my life straight, planning my day the night before. I wake up and I know what I need to do, and it decreases anxiety because there's this saying I love: general ambition causes anxiety, specified ambition causes direction. Right? If you wake up and you know roughly what you want to do, what goal you want to reach, what objectives you want to complete during the day, your mind is going to be filled with anxious energy towards the day forthcoming because you're general. You're vague and ambiguous with what you want to complete, so you're more likely to be stressed out and therefore not productive. I'm also a lot more productive, and I guess it's correlative because again, you're reducing that decision fatigue, but it's also down to training the reticular activating system to be more fine-tuned. And the reticular activating system is the part of the brain that acts as a distraction filter. It's primed by knowing what you need to do, and it's reinforced by keeping the objective task clear and identifiable. For example, instead of saying do business work, which is vague and ambiguous, which won't activate your reticular activating system, so if you sit down to do this business work, all the pings and buzzes and people around you will start to distract you from the work because your brain doesn't even know what to focus on. Whereas if you say, I'm going to write 500 words for this business plan that I need to finish by the end of the week, therefore your brain knows exactly what you need to do, so everything else apart from that gets filtered out and blocked away. Continuing on, I also find it a lot easier to build habits. Across the last 273 days of my life, I've built many habits that I now consistently do. For example, having a cold shower every single day for 5 minutes plus. Because I planned that cold shower into my to-do list to overinflate the importance of the task, because cold shower is going along with the pillars of my business, for example, recording content, right? So I'm overinflating the importance of the task, so I'm more likely to do it. And then when I complete the task, for example, I'll have the cold shower and I tick it off on my to-do list, I'm therefore more likely to do it again and again and again because I'm releasing dopamine and creating this positive reinforcement loop around me and the habit. I've done this with so many things, evening walks, wake time, sleep time, cold showers, etc. I overinflate the task by putting it on my to-do list, by planning it in, and then I'm more likely to be consistent in completing the habit, so I find it a lot easier to do it. And finally, the biggest thing that I've learned from planning the last 273 days of my life is that I know what works for me. And the reason it's so effective is because I can look to my planner and I can see in the bottom my productivity rating for that day, and I can look across those 273 days and see the average or the highs and the lows of productivity and find what went well and what didn't. Did I overload myself with tasks that day that I physiologically couldn't complete, or did I have more of a realistic bank of tasks to complete? On my days where I was most productive, what order did I do the tasks in? Did I go to the gym first, last, etc.? And how did that affect my flow and therefore the productivity rating of the day? It's been key to understand what productivity means to me and what actually works to get me to do the work I say I'm going to do every single day of my life. But for the final part of the video, as promised, I will be teaching you how to plan your days like me to be this consistent in doing it every single night before you sleep, so you wake up the next day with this specified ambition to lead you and direct you towards productive success. And how do we do it? It's very simple. You need a priority, and I like to imagine the priorities as the mission of the day, the overarching theme, right? So the priority of today for me is content recording. I'm going to record all the content for the week, batch record it so I can edit. That's the overarching theme. And then the to-do list section, the objective section, is record video 1 about day planning, record video 2 about brain chemistry, record video 3, etc, etc, etc. And that is the to-do list. And then add in the self-improvement habits, for example, going to the gym. I've just gone back from the gym myself. I have a client meeting later, and fill in every other task. But you need the overarching theme of the objectives. So for today, content recording day. And then the to-do list is the task you need to do to reach that overarching objective, and then fill in everything else you need to get done. I'd also recommend you have this productivity rating system at the bottom, so you can record from 1 to 10 how productive the day was, so you can go back in time and review what went well, what didn't go well, etc. But if you want to save yourself the trouble and get a pre-made, high quality, scientifically backed physical planner, then there's a link in the description for it. However, there are limited copies, so you probably need to act fast because they might be sold out by the time you get there. But that was it. That was what 273 days of planning and tracking my tasks did to my brain, and I hope you found it insightful and found some inspiration to start your own productivity journey. And again, if you do need help, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.